Hi everyone, in this week's video we are focusing on changes to the Equality Act which are due to come into force on the 1st of January 2024 and this is another example of the government legislating quite late in the day, in all honesty, to codify certain rights which derive from EU law once that EU law will cease to have effect at the end of 2023. So the Equality Act 2010 Amendment Regulations 2023 have created some new rights that aren't set out in the Equality Act at the moment, but do exist in European equality legislation. The first is in relation to less favourable treatment on the grounds of sex. So this is direct discrimination under the Equality Act. There is clarity that this includes less favourable treatment because a woman is breastfeeding, where the protected characteristic is sex. And we then turn to indirect associative discrimination. So this is discrimination where the individual making the complaint does not necessarily have a protected characteristic, but it may, for example, relate to an employee whose dependent has a disability. At present, they're protected from direct discrimination, so that's less favourable treatment because of that person's association with a disabled person. That is being extended to include indirect discrimination now. So where the employer applies a provision, criterion or practice which is discriminatory, that doesn't have to be in relation to a protected characteristic held by the employer themselves. It can relate to somebody associated with that employee. So that is an important widening of discrimination provisions. We haven't seen this before, and it will be interesting to see how employees rely on the indirect provisions moving forwards. That may relate, for example, to flexible working, where a request is made in relation to caring responsibilities, in the same way that employees can bring an indirect sex discrimination claim where they may be relying on childcare responsibilities. We then look at direct discrimination relating to access to work. So this is about promotions and decisions as to who to offer employment to. This is previously protected employees in a recruitment process, in an active recruitment process where there is direct, less favourable treatment. That has been widened very significantly now. So Section 60A, which is being inserted into the Act, prohibits discriminatory statements directed to the public or a section of the public in connection with decisions about who to offer employment to or who to offer other forms of work to. Interestingly, if an employer makes a statement that they would not employ a particular category of workers, such as women or people with disabilities, an individual, it appears, will be able to bring a claim in response to that, and they don't have to share that characteristic themselves. So again, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because you will essentially be encouraging litigation from individuals who don't share certain characteristics but can take offence to discriminatory statements which are made by employers. The final update of importance on the new provisions is the definition of disability. So at present, a person has a disability if they have a physical or mental impairment which has a substantial and long-term adverse effect on their ability to carry out normal day-to-day activities. There is an amendment to that to clarify that a person's ability to carry out normal day-to-day activities includes a person's ability to participate fully and effectively in working life on an equal basis with other workers. The test previously has looked more at day-to-day activities outside of the workplace, but again, potential widening here of an employee being able to bring in the impact of a particular impairment on their working day, and to use that to support an argument that their condition or impairment therefore amounts to a disability. So lots to get to grips with once the amendment regulations come into play in 2024. As and when we start to understand more about how the provisions will work in practice and how this may be litigated on, we will of course keep you updated. If you need any further support on this, please do get in touch. Visit the website chadwicklawrence.co.uk or email employmenthub@chadlaw.co.uk. Thank you.